welcome back to my channel. I'm Sam Zagar. Today we are doing the most basic, foundational, rudimentary conversation. What is type? Type. And really, what is aura? When you get into human design, if you want to play with this information, if you want to use it, if you want to experiment with it, unless you know what your type is, there's nothing to play with. There's nothing to experiment with. We all have to start at the level of what is my type? And my type is determined by my aura. And my aura is determined by specific mechanics or configurations that I have within my body graph. If I looked at the body graph and all I saw in it were centers, I could eliminate everything else other than centers and the channels that connected them. You would be able to discern your aura and therefore your type from that information. Now, when Ra got the information for the system of human design, which is really called the science of differentiation or design of forms, when Ra had the encounter and he got the information, Ra was given aura and type. But what's interesting is he wasn't given the names that we have come to call them. When he acknowledges this, he specifically says, I wasn't told, manifesting generator and generator. What he was told were, these are the vehicles, these are the ways in which this person is meant to operate in the world and make decisions as themselves. If they don't do that from the correct place of understanding their type, they're only going to encounter resistance. Type is the first way to hack, really, ease in this lifetime. So what is type? Type is the vehicle that you're in. What are the types? There are 4 of them. Only 4 of them. The least amount of definition, reflector. There are no centers defined in the reflector. Typically, the next least amount of definition is going to be a projector. A projector is going to be someone who has centers defined, channels defined, but those channels are not motor to throat, and they do not include the sacral center. The next would be a manifester, and they can have many combinations of centers and channels, but they will never have the sacral center defined, and they will always have a motor to throat channel. If we're looking at a sacral being, the sacral center has to be defined. Nothing else matters beyond that. As soon as a sacral center is defined within a body graph, this person is a sacral being. Now, within the sacral being family, there is the generator and the manifesting generator, but they both belong to the same type of sacral being. Now, if you want to know if you've been taking in real source-based human design according to Ra Uru Hu, who had the actual encounter, there are only 4 types. If you have fallen into the category of pop HD, where people change the information to make it more appealing or more palatable or more pleasurable or just nicer to encounter, that's where you're likely going to be told that there are 5 types. But source-based human design does not teach that there are 5 types. If you want to believe that, if you want to teach that, that's your prerogative. But at some point, somebody is likely going to say, that's not true. That's not the origin. That's not the information that we were given. And if you can't get that information correct, you likely have not built any of the other information on top of that correctly. You have to have a solid foundation in human design in order for the rest of it to make sense, in order to build the rest of things correctly. Now, all correctly means is authentic to your own mechanics, true to who you are. That's what human design is for. It's to help you be true to who you are. It's about differentiating as yourself. You don't get into human design unless you want to differentiate as yourself. If you're interested in being like most other people on the planet, if you're interested in being homogenized, if you're interested in having someone else be your authority, human design is not for you. But if human design is for you, you're going to want to start with the real human design. And real human design says that there are 4 types. And there are very, very simple mechanical ways to be able to look at a body graph and to be able to discern what type you're looking at based on different mechanical configurations. Because of the mechanical configuration each type has a way that it uses these mechanics. And this is where something called strategy starts to come in. Your mechanics dictate your strategy. If you are a reflector, then your strategy is to wait a long time, ideally a lunar cycle, a moon cycle. Now, a reflector has no definition. Their type is defined by no centers being colored in. If you're a projector, then you don't have a sacral center, you don't have motor to throat, and you do have centers defined. Your strategy is to wait to be invited. The type of mechanics that you have make it the easiest life for you to wait for somebody else to recognize you and engage you. If you are a sacral being, if you have that sacral center defined, then the strategy is to wait to respond. The way the sacral vehicle works is that its aura is consistently pulling things in. It's open and enveloping. The way that this type is meant to operate their vehicle is to wait, because they're always pulling, and to respond to what is for them. Now, I'm not really going to get into authority here. That's going to be one of our next videos. Our last type is going to be manifestor. The manifestor waits to initiate. How you can tell a manifestor in a body graph is motor to throat definition. They're waiting for this cyclical hit or pulse of power to come through, motor to throat, where they're going to speak this power and manifest something into the world. All of us have different types of mechanics, different configurations, and they create different strategies. Wait a lunar cycle, wait to be recognized and invited, wait to respond, wait to initiate. This is the way in which we're meant to interact with the greater world around us in the easiest way, in the way that has the least amount of resistance to it. When you understand your aura, what makes you your type, what strategy that creates for you, and how that affects how you're going to interact with the world around you and make decisions, that is the foundation of your experiment in human design. If you want to experiment with this system, this is what you need to know to start. And if you are interested in a longer conversation about this, I will not only be teaching a course, but this is the first class in the course. As of September 13th, 2024, and cyclically, hopefully many times after that, I will be teaching a Welcome to Human Design, where you can get your foundational educational information to be able to read a body graph for yourself or for other people. You can sign up for the entire course, that is 10 classes, or you can sign up for this single class, where you're going to learn about type, strategy, aura. If that's something that you want to learn, if it's something in particular you want to learn from me, if it's something that you really want to learn through source-based information, I'll see you Friday, September 13th.